Good evening and welcome to the Board of Selectmen's meeting for Monday, November 2nd at 5:15 PM. Would you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I don't think we need you to go through the agenda.
Yeah, real small.
Isn't much of an
Nothing
agenda.
here. Yep.
Is anybody here for open forum? Seeing no one, I will close open forum, and we just have one item for a board discussion, moving the annual town election. Mr. Sheedy, this was your idea. Do you want to explain your
It was,
thinking on this?
and what usually happens based on our current schedule is we have the town election the first Monday after the first Saturday in April. And then in May, we have town meeting,
Sometimes.
except for this year. Assuming that we have everything back to normal next year. Again, and I've had this thought for years, that a lot of the people, be it the selectmen, be it the finance committee, the capital committee, people that have worked on our budget and all the articles for town meeting may no longer be in office at the time we go to town meeting if we continue the election in April. So my thought was, let's make those people that are working on it all year, have them make sure that they're still in that position come town meeting, and we move forward and have the annual town election the Saturday following the special town meeting, the annual town meeting.
Yeah, I think a pretty smart move. I've talked to Brian a little bit about it. I mean, this is probably, I saw it last. I mean, came into a meeting, town meeting, not knowing really what was going on.
Been in office for 3 days.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, it's.
And you did a fine job.
I did.
The good thing is you get to claim new guy.
Yeah, that's it. It wasn't me. So I think it's it's pretty self-explanatory, as David just said, and I think it's a good way going forward for sure. I agree.
I know other towns that do it that way. My only concern is what happens if, we move town meeting to June, which we've had to do on occasion for budget reasons, not even just, pandemic. So I think,
Well, we can always, when we actually make the motion, we can build into that. This will be deferred after the annual town meeting regardless.
but if I don't think you just necessarily want it to be a moving target every year. Like, I think
It shouldn't.
with,
be
it should
in
be,
most
this will be the
cases.
date.
Yeah.
And if for some reason annual town meeting gets postponed, well, it's an anomaly and it happens. It also gives us a really good reason to hold the date of annual town meeting. When
Right.
we sometimes have been asked to change it, we can say, well, no, we're not changing it because
Yeah.
it's really tied to annual town election now too, and we want to make sure that they, happen together.
That's fine.
So
Is it
I
usually
think,
like is it like the second Saturday of?
Town meeting would be the second Monday.
I meant
in
the
May.
the election.
it's the first Saturday after the first Monday in April,
Stop it.
So the proposal would be the Saturday following.
Right?
town meeting.
The
So it
Sunday
can't be like
following the
April
annual
1st,
Right,
town
right,
meeting,
right.
Regardless of.
yeah.
First Saturday after the first Monday
Yeah,
of.
so that like if the first Saturday is like the second or third, it's not that, it's
Okay.
not until after the first
All right.
Monday, right? Isn't that the,
It would be right now, the annual is the Monday following the first Saturday. So this would be the second Saturday.
yep. And this would need to be put on the warrant
Yes.
Yep.
for the December 7th town
Yes.
meeting.
Yep.
Yep, I think, let the people decide.
That's all you can do. Yep.
All right. Any other board discussions?
Should I make a motion, or? Yeah?
Yeah.
Make a motion to put on the warrant the moving of the annual town election from April to June.
May.
May,
May,
May.
sorry. Going to May. I thought you
It's
said
June this year.
May.
Okay.
You were June.
I was June, right, May. Okay. So we'll just go in 1 month.
Who's on first?
Right. All right, I better scratch that out. Try that again. All right. Moving, make a motion to move the annual town meeting from April to May, to put it on the
Annual town
warrant.
election.
For the town election.
Annual town election
Yep, what'd I say?
Meeting.
meeting.
We knew what you meant, Peter.
The
Good.
town election, yes.
Second.
Any further discussion?
That's a
And
board
Paula just
discussion. We
mentioned,
can-
the town clerk has weighed in on this, and she
She's fine.
sees this in a favorable light, correct, Mr. Noble?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay, so town clerk is good, so. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
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 All right, very good. We have a joint meeting, but that's set for 5:30, and I'm assuming we can't start early, is that correct? Okay, do you have an update for us, Mr. Noble?
Sure, I have two things. The governor announced today 3 new executive orders that clarify and change hours that businesses can operate. It reinforced the mask ordinance and also changed the number of people that can gather both in public and in private, limiting indoor gatherings to 10. So that probably will change Thanksgiving. That goes into effect on Friday. And I put all of the updates onto the website, and
Right.
they've linked them to the governor's orders, so everybody, instead of me going through this and screwing it up, read it, it's online.
Okay, I'm just gonna get a little Cornish game hen.
Yes. So
Maybe I'll get 2, one for me and one for Dale.
in addition, we've been approached by the school administration to work with Jennifer Diaz regarding the development of a youth committee. And the committee would provide a conduit for youth to have a voice in town leadership, help promote civic engagement, community service, and of course, foster an understanding of how municipal government works. So we're working on a proposal to come forward the board and to create this youth committee between the school administration and town administration. So we'll be
Great.
in touch with you a little more about it. I've been working very closely with Mr. Spagone on developing the outline for this, and then he in turn with the school. So I'm very optimistic about what we could do with this. And one of my complaints in private to you is nobody understands civics, and especially when, how small town government works. And I think this would be a step forward to expanding that educational process younger.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, you hear people talk about how town meeting has become, antiquated and we don't need it anymore, but this is a really great way to teach kids about how it all works and why it works in a community of this size.
Did I cover everything, Peter, properly for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, like Brian says, they've been doing it at the school committee, as you guys know, for years. And this is, I think, a good approach to get them kind of interested and knowledgeable. And it's also a great way to put something on the application,
Yep.
when they do try to go to secondary school, college, or whatnot. So we'll see what happens. I think they want us to put a little PSA together just to drum up the interest, but I kind of passed it over to Brian and let him figure out and get back to us on what they'd like to see us do.
I'm excited with the possibilities. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So,
good.
and also, I'd like to tell you that the warrant, final draft of the warrant has been done, and I've circulated it to Laura Sebastian for proofreading. So we should have this back and out to press this week, and then out to posting a little early even, so.
How about that?
Yeah.
And the governor's restrictions don't impact
They
town
don't
meeting,
apply
correct?
to town meeting.
Okay.
We will be doing what we did for the annual town meeting, socially distancing. The chairs are marked where you can sit, where you can't. Masks will be provided, check-in will be quicker, and no lines, and 6 foot, and all that. So we'll be well protected, and hopefully not that long, because we only have about 16 articles.
And we don't need a quorum.
Well, quorum is 1.
Right, that's what I mean. We don't have a minimum
No.
that we need to attend, so
Nope.
hopefully people will be interested and will attend and
We can start on
Get the
time,
business
finish on
done.
time, and not stay there a long time.
define on time.
7 o'clock, December 7th.
I think she was referring to the time it ended.
I was thinking of, you said we were gonna finish on time, and I wasn't really sure what that meant.
Well, if nobody argues with me.
When Brian says I'm done.
Yeah. 7:07.
Thank you.
Anything
That's it.
else?
That's all I have, thank you.
Rebecca, any staff announcements?
I just have one community announcement. There's a 8th annual food drive event sponsored by East Bridgewater Insurance Agency and the East Bridgewater Board of Health. This year, it will be strictly drop-off, a drive-up event. Wednesday, November 18th, 1 to 3, and 5:30 to 7. Thursday, November 19th, 1 to 3:30, and 5:30 to 6:30. So this will be at the Central Elementary School. We can post this on the website as well, so you can see the events, the items that they're in need of. It looks like the school gets points. The students will get points for the items that are dropped off, and if they reach 1,000 points, they are rewarded with a school-wide pajama day.
Oh, cool.
So I'll go ahead and post this on the website, and so everyone can see it.
Great, thank you. Anybody got a dog and pony show? Kiwanis Club has Field of Flags set up. There was shoveling of snow in order to place the flags, but they're done, and we thank everybody that sponsored a flag for $10. They split the proceeds with the Fisher House of Boston, which is a organization for the families of veterans that are being treated at Fisher, at the VA in Boston, and their families can stay at Fisher House. It's a great program, and Kiwanis is happy to partner with them on that and with our town. Was that what you meant, or do you want me to talk about
Tree lighting.
Christmas? Kiwanis is planning to move forward with a tree lighting on a very modified and small scale, but it will happen. I'm not sure of the date, actually. Rebecca, was it in that paperwork?
Does December 3rd ring a bell?
Is that the first Saturday?
I think so.
Or the first Thursday? It's usually
Yeah.
the first
Yeah.
Thursday night.
Right.
Things are fluid at this point with the club, but they are planning, we figure if the town ever needed to see the common lit up and pretty for the holidays, this is the year. So there will be a tree on the gazebo, and there will be garland and lights around the common, courtesy of the Kiwanis Club.
We think that the garland and the lights are being set up on November 14th.
I think that's the plan, but they won't be turned on too early. We won't jump the gun on Christmas.
And do you know what time they're talking about?
I don't,
I'm sure we
usually
need-
they do
sure
it
we need
after
volunteers.
school, but they have to be careful with social distancing and all of that, so, I think the club is working with the YMCA. I know you were gonna help with that, so
Okay.
hopefully nothing will happen to make that not possible.
So the governor said we have to be in our houses by 10 o'clock.
You
Your
gotta go
bedtime
home.
is 10 o'clock.
So town meeting will have to be over by 10.
Well, government's immune.
Oh, all right, never mind.
Good try.
At 10 o'clock's on my street, I'm the only light on, never mind people being.
And you can't go out before 5.
All events must conclude by 9:30, all events. And,
You know what I didn't understand about his message today, that the restaurants have to be closed at 9:30, but takeouts stay open, but he didn't say for how long, and how are you gonna be in your house if the takeout's longer, much after 9:30?
Well, that was the confusing piece.
that was a little confusing, but that was not part of his order, so I think that was an ad lib. So, but the restaurants must close at 9:30, alcohol service must stop, liquor stores must close, the fun is over at 9:30. So, and then there's a advisory to stay at home from 10 to 5.
Right.
The advisory does apply to businesses. For example, gyms cannot open before 5 a.m. So,
We have a couple of 24-hour gyms in town, right?
yeah, and they will not be able,
They'll have to
you'll have to
close.
close at 10, you'll have to close at 9:30, excuse me, and it'll have to be 10 to 5 is the hours they cannot be open. And we are going to send out a letter to our liquor licenses to make sure that they're aware of the change.
Well, hopefully this will do what it's meant to do and slow the spread.
Yep. Well, we're in red, and we probably will be in red next week, but we'll let the Board of Health address that. And we'll send out an advisory in cooperation with the Board of Health this week to talk about the changes.
Good, thank you. All right, it is 5:30.
They're gonna, we can't all fit here, so me and you will Get away,
do this
over there.
next week. How's
Okay.
that?
There you go. John Cullinan, Chair of the Assessors.
Hey, John?
Paula Wolf, he'll be talking to you tonight.
Pass these out to everyone.
We didn't do a PowerPoint, we gave that to everybody to look,
Thank you.
so.
They have to open
Thank you.
the meeting, correct?
Sorry?
They have to open their meeting.
Yes, they have to open their meeting.
We don't.
You guys need to open
You
your
have to
meeting.
open the meeting, yeah.
We're having a meeting after, it's a regular scheduled meeting, so why do we need to open our?
Because this is a joint meeting.
Oh,
Sure.
and you're gonna vote.
And you have a
All
quorum
have to do
present.
is After our portion's over, you,
Okay, it's 5:30. I'd like to open the Board of Assessors / Selectmen's meeting on November 2nd. For the purposes of reclassification of the taxes.
Yep, classification hearing, yep.
Great, thank you.
I guess I'll start. Paula Wolf, Director of Assessing. We meet every year to do this. It's, once we get all the information together to do the recap, which is, we send that into the Mass Department of Revenue, and that's how we set the tax rate for the town. So this is the pamphlet that we always do, fiscal year 2021, classification hearing for East Bridgewater. The following is the supporting documentation and estimated tax rate for FY '21. The recap, associated documents and tax rate will receive final certification by the Department of Revenue in November this year. We're getting there. We'll submit this tomorrow, and usually within 3 or 4 days, they come back and say, your paperwork's good. They work with Phyllis, who does a lot of the accounting side of it, and then I do the assessing side, and together with Sue Gilpatrick and Melissa Morris, they do a couple of the pages also. The purpose of the classification is just to decide if we want to split the rate. So we always have had a single rate in this town, but we do have to have a hearing every year to decide whether the Board of Selectmen wants to split the rate. The classification does not determine the tax rate. It does not determine how much money can be raised. A split tax rate will not increase revenue for the town, and East Bridgewater voters determine the tax levy, what the tax levy will be. So on this, we have total values for property type. Just kind of gives you an idea of where, you know, what the big total is.
A little bit of a difference.
Yeah. And then this year, average property values, these are from 2019. We use the sales from last year. The single families went up about 4%. That's on the average. It's between 4 and 6%, but for the majority of our properties are in, say, the 300 to 400 range. So that's where the 4% is, the base. Then sometimes the larger homes will go up 5%, but it's where they start and where they end, so it increases a little bit more. But on average, that's where we're at. Commercial and industrial went up about the same, 5%. So your taxes, as always, goes up, the taxes in the town individually. 2020, the average taxes for a home was $6,234, $6,234, and this year we think the average will be $6,388. The commercial properties going from $9,330 to $9,677. Tax levy calculations are on the next page. That's simply how we get the tax levy. So we take last year's levy, which was $28,364,047. Then we add 2.5%. That's adds an additional $709,101. This year, our new growth amount was $277,180. So we got we put those together to get a levy limit of $29,350,328. And then we have our debt exclusion that we add on every year. We pay that off. And that's all the small things that were borrowed and we pay off. Or actually, the debt exclusion is the high
Schools.
schools, and the Community center,
community center.
right, that was the big one. I'm good, I saw debt and I was thinking of our debt. So that brings our levy up to 32,315,255. The next is a total values by property. So it tells you what kind, single family, we have 3,837 parcels. The value combined is 1,433,533,900, and we break it down like that. Our revenue sources are on the next page. So 57% of our revenue comes from property taxes, state aid 24%, local revenue 12%, free cash 3%, and other sources 4%. Those are receipts and things like that, so. In closing, the split tax rate should not be considered if the combined valuation of commercial, industrial, and personal property does not equal at least 25% of the total taxable valuation. That's the recommendation from the Department of Revenue. East Bridgewater's total is 10.72%. Split tax rates may discourage businesses from locating in the community. The Board of Assessors' recommendation to the Board of Selectmen is to maintain a single rate for fiscal 2021. And any questions?
Thank you. I don't have any questions. David?
Nope, I'm good.
Peter?
Nope.
So you just need to vote on the Board of Selectmen to not split the tax rate.
Make a motion to, and this is annually, you do this every year?
Every year.
So I make a motion to keep the single tax rate for 2020, 2021.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Thank you. And then we
I thought
did,
you told us it was being reduced by 10% this year.
I didn't say anything. If anything, the reduce is gonna be the income next year, which I was gonna bring up, you know, like, our new growth is basically nothing compared to other towns. $277,000, that's just, you know, that's just a pity. So, I'm going into next year, fiscal in '21, I'd be very careful. Be very careful what we spend and how we spend it.
yeah, we have a tax rate this year, the new tax rate should be $17.05. Hopefully, we will have an increase in new growth.
Hopefully, but
We did close on the auction that it closed, so that's
that
good.
helps, that we have 20
Hanson
29
Land
dollars.
on the south side of Central Street is no more.
What's that bringing, about 800?
And we can start collecting that's the thing, it was sitting there for a long, long time without,
Money coming in.
anything coming in from it, so we'll see where that goes, that's exciting. And then we have the land on the other side that we'll start working on and kind of consult together and figure out how to move forward with that. So, yeah, we're,
I just want to thank the board and Paula and Sherry and their whole team. They've done a lot of work in the past year and a half, 2 years on that Hanson land especially, and just getting everything done in a timely manner. They do a great job. They're an asset to the community.
Absolutely. Thank you for reminding us of that. That was a good,
Thank you.
good culmination of a lot of effort.
yeah, Melissa did a great job.
You should have seen all the
too.
maps they had when I first got on the board. They had erasers out, crayons, they had it all. It was very, very nice job.
Yes, thanks, that was a good combination of a lot of people working together on that, so it was nice. Nice to have that be finished.
Finally.
But it's
Yeah.
over. You'll be doing
We're
it
good,
again.
we just,
If you're still, you'll be doing it again.
the certification too, we finished that this year where, it was our 5-year certification. We breezed through that really well, so we're in good shape.
Excellent.
And we will, I'm just gonna have you sign this, and then we can sign this, our side during the meeting. And, we're all
Okay.
set.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Are you
Thank
guys
you.
meeting in here?
Yeah, I guess, we'll close the joint, right, and then we'll,
Correct.
10 minutes later, at 5:39, I'd like to close the Board of Assessors meeting for today.
We'll take a recess.
seconded by Curtis. All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Are we adjourning
We
at the
have
same
to
time, or
motion to
do we
adjourn.
need to sign those first?
Nope, you can sign them
Okay.
after.
Motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn the Board of Selectmen's meeting?
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Thank
Don't
you.
forget to vote tomorrow if you haven't already voted.
5:40 is 5:40.